All right. This is the Morning Drift. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. It is the 10th of December, 2025. For those who are counting, just 2 weeks to Christmas. 2 weeks to Christmas. What I know is that majority of you have taken your holidays. The leaves have started, the offs have started. Every other thing that you were planning to do during this season, you've already done it, you've already bought your presents, and now you're planning to go home. But for us, we're still here. Sisi bado tuko. That's what they say in Swahili. We're going to be with you as well all the way during this festive period, just to keep on informing you and telling you exactly what it is that you need to do, all right, as you get ready for your festivities. Na nimeanza kuona tu zingine hapa eti kama kampani yenu haijafunga saa hizi, then you need to reevaluate your life. Aje sasa. Watu wanafunga wakienda wapi bro? Yeah? Time kutafuta pesa, mwanaume endelea kutafuta pesa bana. That's exactly what makes sense. To some of us, don't accuse me that I said you guys are going to keep on working. To some of us, this is exactly what makes sense. Now, there's so much to talk about this morning, but today's conversation is just going to be about what President Dr. William Ruto has said over the past couple of days, and he still keeps on, talking, even as he finalizes his U.S. state visit. There's just so much that we are going to talk about this morning so that you have a sense of where we are as a country and the direction that the president really needs to take us to. So what we do know is that the president has announced 2,500 kilometers dual carriageways over the next decade. I'm going to take you back to last week when we were speaking about this plan, then give you a journey of where we are and what Kenyans really think about his plan for the next 10 years. And by the way, I want you to also underline 10 years, because that has also got people talking. Let's then listen to President Dr. William Ruto, come back and see what Kenyans are talking about that plan.
Nikienda Northern Kenya wananiambia barabara haitoshi. Nikikuja hapa Central Kenya wananiambia barabara bado. Nikienda Nyanza wanasema barabara bado. Nikienda Rift Valley wanasema bado. Nikienda Coast wanasema bado. Nikienda Eastern wanasema bado. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Ili kutatua kikamilifu shida ya mabarabara Kenya na kuhakikisha ya kwamba kila mkulima anaweza kupeleka mazao yake kutoka shambani mpaka sokoni. Tunaweza kupeleka bidhaa yetu ya kuuza nchi za nje kwa taratibu na njia sawasawa, ni kujenga kilomita zingine 28,000 Kenya. We double the kilometers of road we have built in the last 60 years. We want to change that and build another 28 kilometers in the next 10 years. And it is possible. And we know how to do it. Wakenya hoye!
Now, it's a fired up president, and we don't, like one famous politician said back then, there's no passionometer. You can tell. He's quite passionate about whatever he's saying. But then you go back and you try and piece these statements and sentiments together, then you start saying, Mr. President, what are you really talking about? Now, I'll take you back to what the president said on December 2nd of 2025. Now, he did say, we will make Thika Nairobi Road into a dual carriageway next year. I don't know whether that was a slip of the tongue or what road he really meant. And I don't know why journalists who were attending this press didn't question him to just give them an alternative road, because we do know that Thika Road already is more than dual, all right? But then he went to say, we want to dual 2,500 kilometers of road to open up Kenya. But then these statements do not stop there, because you don't have to go very far for you to find the president with another statement that sort of contradicts what is already spoken before this. Because this is the president again in another sitting talking about the plans that he has for the country, because here he said we need at least 1,000 kms of dual carriageways in the country. All right, you go back and look at the plans that he has. It's quite a long plan, all the way to additional key corridors in the country that are set for dualing, which are going to include Muthaiga, Kiambu, Machakos Junction, Mau Summit, Kisumu, Busia, Mau Summit Eldoret, Athi River Namanga, Karatina, Nanyaki Isiolo, Makutano Embu, Meru Maua, Mtwapa Malindi, Mombasa Lunga, Kericho Kisii Migori is Bania, Nakuru Nyahururu Karatina, Kisii Oyugi Zahero, Northern Bypass, James Gishuru Road, that's what he said, Bomas Karen Ngong, Bomas Ongata Rongai Kiserian, Ngong Isinya and Naivasha Kikuyu. According to the president, these are the votes that he wants to dual. Now wait for it. Remember, I told you to underline this, in the next 10 years. Now, in the next 10 years, we do know that the president should be out of office. So this plan that he has for the next 10 years, will it find him in office or not? Now, proper Kenyans have gone online and they've looked at this declaration he has for the president that is going to construct these roads within the next 10 years, and this is what majority of Kenyans really have been talking about. Now, the president has had to come out and defend his 20-year rule declaration. All right? Now, Kenyans looked at it and they said, well, it looks as if the president is going to be here for long because he's talking about a 10-year plan in this infrastructure plan. All right? And this is what Kenyans have been talking about it. Good. So I've got Mariani at Karul this morning who's saying, hey, hii 10-year plan, si kama utagonga tano. That's it. All right. Janice this morning who's saying, eti wadau kuna kitu sielewi, hii 10 years plan, so Ruto ameshafanyia president anakuja next ama yeye anajifanyia. Good. I've got Marianne as well this morning who's saying, I do not understand. The president is saying he's going to be here for the next 10 years. It is 5 plus another 2 that is left with, so that makes it 7. Where is the 3 coming from? That's exactly what he's saying. I've got at the Undertaker this morning who's saying this plan for construction of roads is not bad, but I don't think majority of Kenyans want these roads. Fix the economy first before you talk about your infrastructure plans. Good. The last one on this one then is First Lady. First Lady. Yeah, we know we only have one First Lady, isn't it? All right. Who's saying, I like this plan, but kwanza tujenge uchumi before you talk about the votes. I mean, that's some of the samples then that we've seen this morning of Kenyans then announcing that, of President Dr. William Ruto announcing that indeed is going to have a 10-year plan that's going to see a minimum of 1,000 kilometers of dual carriageways in the country. Zika your list kama nimesoma. If your road is there, then you're blessed. If your road is not there, then ngoja president mwingine, because Ruto hana plan yako. It's not here, guys. I'm just reading Ruto's plan for the next 10 years. Whether he shall be in government or not, it's not a question for you and I to ask. He's already come out to defend it, and he said he's a young president. He's going nowhere. He was only talking about the plans that he has for this country. Good. Let's move from this particular one, because what we're talking about this morning is a good thing that we're talking about infrastructure, because some Kenyans then have gone in and launched a petition against one of the votes that are in the plans of one President, Dr. William Ruto. That is the Mau Rironi Summit. And even before we look at what they are talking about, from the ground, and I don't know whether you can verify or not, we do have videos that are already showing that indeed that construction for that road has already started. I don't know, the Rex, if you can actually show us that clip then. We cannot verify. There's a clip that we're seeing on the ground. So on the ground, inakaa ni kama enyewe construction imeanza. This is close where the president was launching the construction of that highway. And you can see works have already started. What we do know that the Mau Rironi summit is going to cost around 170 to 200 billion shillings to get done. And then after that, Kenyans then will start paying 8 shillings a kilometer to use it. Now, some Kenyans have rushed to court and they've come up with a petition that is challenging the construction of this particular highway. And they've got a couple of points, and we're going to talk about them this morning, from lack of credible toll-free alternative to discrimination, double taxation, public participation, excessive intermediation, economic justification, all the way to transparency and involvement of NSSF. So what they're saying is that they need to go to court. Already that petition is seated at the Nakuru court, and they've said the courts need to make a ruling on this before that construction continues. Sasa hapa tujui kama kuna watu wana break law, you know? Because here's the thing. If that case is ongoing, the construction can't continue because it's pegged on this. So as things stand, that construction should stop, isn't it? As we wait for the courts then to make themselves clear on what that petition is seeking. And if you look at it, it's on a matter of urgency. It doesn't stop here. Well, critics of this petitioner, and I will be telling you who that petitioner is, have really gone online and they've already started hitting them hard, all right? One of the critics of this petitioner is Robert Alai. This morning, we'll be showing you exactly what Robert Alai said when they realized that this petition was already seated at a Nakuru court. If you can show us that excerpt then of what Robert Alai was talking about, here it is. This is Robert Alai this morning was saying, Peter Murima, Joyce Wamahio, and Josephat Kamau, these are the sponsors of the petition, all right? Hits the construction of the Rironi Mau Summit Road, all right? Puts Gachagua in it. Gachagua can't hide his hate for equal development. He has stooges everywhere trying to sabotage President Ruto. I hope that Kome won't budge, all right? There's a court in Nakuru, and this was done last week, but one. There's a court in Nakuru. Now, the sponsors are Motorists Association of Kenya, Peter Murima, Joyce Wamahio, and Josephat Kamau, all right? Who want the court to issue orders stopping the construction. They claim the proposed reintroduction of toll roads through public-private partnership, PPP, and the build operative transfer the board models is veiled attempt to cede control of critical resources in the country. As I stands, yeah? So you see how guys are reacting to that petition. And the president, by the way, has been one man who's really spoken on this particular area. So we're going to wait and see exactly how this goes before we know exactly what the petition is talking about. Hopefully then Kenyans will get a clear understanding of what this is about. Good. Let's then look at exactly what Kenyans are also waking up to this morning. There's a video trending online, as we do know of it, of Kenyans who are in a room with a pile of cash. We do not know where they're getting it from. Let's take a look at it and then come back and talk about it. Hapo bwana kuna pesa mingi sana. Naona hizo manoti zote. Hizo manoti ama wanasema ni minoti. Those are piles of cash. Yeah? And you can tell how random that video is. And you can tell it's actually Kenyan currency because we know the color of our 1,000 shillings note. You know, it is quite identifiable, and you can see it. So I'm wondering, what is this? Because we've also seen Kenyans who are weighing money. So I've seen Kenyans saying that maybe hapa ndio hii pesa ya kuweka kwa kilo kama nyama inatoka pia. This kind of videos are the ones you watch and they say, maybe mimi ndio sina pesa. Usiseme eti Kenya kuna pesa. Naona wanaume wako hapo ndani ya pesa. Yeah? Wewe sema mimi sina pesa. Sema tu hivyo. Yeah? Mimi sina pesa. Because there is money according to this. Good. Let me just see some of the controversial statements that Kenyans are making on this particular one. I've got Atmonari who's saying, walai hii ndio ile 300 billion ilipotea yenye control of budget alikuwa anasema. Hata mimi nakaa kuamini bwana. Sababu sasa kama tujui pesa ilitoka wapi. And this clip, nobody knows the origin of this clip. How much money do you think this is? Because Monari anasema ndio ile 300 billion ilipotea. Mimi hata sijui 300 billion inatoshanaje. But I know 300 billion can't fit here. Yeah? Wow. All right. Let me see this one as well. This is from Marriott. You guys are very good usernames who are saying, mimi nataka tu mnionyeshe mtu alishuti hiyo video, kuna jambo nataka kumwambia. Hata mimi Marriott. Kuna jambo niko nalo nataka kumwambia. You know? Because that money, it looks really good. All right. This is at the Techers _ who's saying, yani Kenya watu wako na pesa. Guys have money. Mimi pekee ndio sina pesa. That's what we've said this morning. Usiseme eti hii Kenya hakuna pesa. Just say that I don't have money as myself. Me and myself. Only me and myself alone are the ones who don't have money. Yeah? I don't know where these clips come from. I don't know the origin of this clip. But if it's anything to go by, that's a lot of money in that clip. I'm not going to read some of these comments because mshaanza accusations. I'm not going to say a member of parliament's name. That yo muliona juzi. No, I've got no evidence, guys. I'm not going to read some of these comments that you have here this morning. Anyway, so what we're going to talk about this morning is just the president's infrastructure plans to introduce 2,500 kilometers of dual carriageways in the country. Whether it does that in the next 7 years or what the 10 years that is spoken about mean is just for us to go in and decipher. This morning, I introduced to you the main petitioners in that petition that's already challenging the construction and the tolling of the Mau Summit Road that the president launched last week. Do you support the tolling of that summit road? Talk to us at Lookup TV across all your social media platforms. We're online at Lookup TV. Again, I am at Kiage Simba. My name is Simba Elijah Shangal's Kiage. This is the Morning Drift. I will introduce that subject and the guests who are joining us in the studio shortly as we delve into that petition. This is the Morning Drift.
Taarifa zinapochipuka na kutufikia papa hapa kwenye makao makuu ya chumba cha habari cha runinga ya Lookup, kwenye taifa, kwenye serikali, kwenye bunge, tunajitosa hadi kwenye sauti ya wenyeji ili kupata tu maoni ya wenyeji kuhusu masuala haya yanayochipuka.
Maana hii kitu inaenda kuumiza Mkenya kwa tax.
Hakuna kitu tunafurahia. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sisi tunaumia, si ati tunaumia ile ya kiukweli. Juu maisha ni ngumu.
Na bila shaka tunapata maoni yao ili sauti yao ipate kusikika. Na watasema hili, waseme lile, watasema hiki, na waseme kile, almuradi sauti yao ipate taa.
Mambo ya mafuta tena imekuwa ni changamoto zaidi kwa kila mtu, kwa bodaboda.
Uchumi ikikuwa stable, tunaamini mambo itakuwa sawa sawa.
Kwanza liko na ria watu wa boda, mama mboga nini. Hawa sasa ndio wamefinywa zaidi man.
Mpenzi mtazamaji, hii ni bunge la wenyeji.
I recall the doctor telling me that day, he said, Sarah, I'm sorry about what happened to you, but you see, life happens. You would have to learn to work with your hands, depend on your hands more.
And today, if you're going through anything that you do not understand, just call on this name, Jesus, and he will save you.
I realized I loved music when I was about 7 or 8. I used to puff my cheeks and play the 12-bar blues. Like I'd walk around the house doing like...
Why do we need the Holy Spirit?
I mean, if you look at what Jesus said when he was leaving, he said he is going and that he will send the Holy Spirit as our helper.
So God knows everything since the end, from the beginning, has a plan for your life. So to find that plan for your life, you must find God. When you find God, you will know the path for your life.
For you to forgive someone who has hurt you? How easy is it? What are some tips, a person can apply to improve their public speaking skills?
We all have personality lazy somewhere around us.
In my mind, whenever I'm invited for a public speaking event, I don't like to put a lot of, accessories or too many colors.
What are the major things to look out when choosing a school for a child?
Another cheesy conversation starter is, men do this a lot. Men look familiar. Have we met before? No. We met in
Nobody's buying that line again.
No, we don't. We don't buy it anymore.
It's a conversation that I've been wanting to have for a week now, and it's a good thing that this morning we're able to have that conversation. Because here's the reality. The president has announced that he is going to do 2,500 kilometers of roads before he steps out of government. And that's a good thing. It's a fantastic thing. And in fact, when he announced that the Mau Summit, Rironi Road, was going to get duals, everybody across the country said, indeed, we've been needing this road to be duals, because that, for a very long time, has been a pain point for Kenyans, including me, who've been using that route. Every time we're going into festivities, there is a problem. In fact, in the next 2 weeks, those stories will begin of Kenyans who spend 5 days, 6 days on the road as they're trying to get home. If that is going to happen, then everything is going to be good. But as we are sitting here, I mean, you can see the topic that we're running under this conversation, then you will know that some Kenyans have gone to court to stop the plan, not to do all that road, because everybody would need that road to be duals, but that plan to have toll points on that road for you to use it. I mean, the plan has already been laid out. It's going to cost you 8 shillings per kilometer to use that road. And the alternatives, are going to hear them this morning. And from the petitioners, we're also going to hear them from them this morning on why the alternatives that are given to us are not good. Just before I introduce the petitioner as well with us in the studio this morning, then, let's look into what the president says is going to be a proper way for us to start this project. Let's listen in.
Mau Summit tayari, wiki ijayo tayari tumepata pesa kutoka watu wa IE Bank, AIB Bank wametupatia pesa ya kufanya feasibility study kutoka pale Mau Summit iende Eldoret, iende mpaka Malaba, iungane na Uganda. Nyenye mnanielewa? Na barabara ingine itoke pale Mau Summit iende Kericho, iende Sumu, iende Malaba, tuunganishe tena na Uganda. Na hiyo kazi tunatangaza feasibility study next week. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Tukimaliza hii barabara 2027 ifike pale Mau Summit, wakati tunafungua tarehe 1, hiyo tarehe 3 mimi naanzisha ile barabara ya kutoka Mau Summit kwenda Uganda. Nyinyi mnanielewa?
Some more plans after the main one that the president has announced. And actually, he was announcing this at the launch of that construction of the Rironi Mau Summit Road. Fantastic. So I'm going to read for you just an introduction of this petition that the petitioners then presented to Nakuru Court. And this is Joyce Pomahio versus State Law Office and Kenyan National Highways Authority. Orders, there's a court document, and it reads, this matter coming up on the 28th, all right, instant for direction on constitutional petition that is dated on the 14th, under the certificate of urgency before me, Honorable Justice J.M. Nangea, and upon perusing the petition, the certificate of urgency and affidavit evidence in support thereof, directions issue hereafter, and this is what it states, that it's noted that no application is made for any interim reliefs, and that the petition to be served forthwith, and respondents have 7 days to file and serve any replies, and third, that the matter is fixed for mention on the 5th of December 2025 at 10:30 a.m. for further directions given under my hand and seal of the Honorable Court on this 28th of November 2025. So guess who we have in the studio this morning? We do have the main petitioner, who is Joyce Pomayo, HSC. Joyce, how are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm doing fine. How is the Rukap family?
It is fantastic.
Happy to be here, Siba.
You might be happy, but majority of Kenyans don't like you this morning. I'll read for you a couple of responses here.
Yes.
Upon your introduction of this petition, good. I'm reading Robert Yalai's feed, where everybody knows exactly what he said about you, but this is what majority of Kenyans are also responding on it. This is Mary this morning, and I would like just to begin from there. Mary was saying, you might find it is Ruto himself who has paid the petitioner to go to court because he might not have that money to construct that road. Mambaya campaigns higher. All right, I'm going to read this one also from Kevin Nganga, who's saying, I don't understand this petition. Nani hawa hawataki tukue na barabara. All right, Kelvin this morning who's also saying, what petition is this? It's a stupid petition. We need development. Hii mambo ya kukimbia kotini mwachane nayo. I think I would like for you to respond to these ones first before we go back to the history of this petition and where we're headed with it.
Thank you so much. Kenyans may not be in the know of this discussion and where it started. So, and of course, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. But immediately, once we are done with this discussion, then we are going to shed more light into where this petition is heading, the history behind this petition, so that anybody now who comes up with any other varying opinion we can read from the same page. And it is not rocket science, Elijah, to understand this petition. It's only that Kenyans are always worried that anything that comes up, somebody will not see the glass half full, they will see the glass half empty. But after this discussion, Elijah, we are going now to demystify the issue of the petition, and Kenyans will read from the same page whereby we as the petitioners are reading from.
That's it.
So they should not be worried. They're only airing their views, and it is they're airing their views because they do not know. But once we explain it, everybody will say, yes, this need for this petition.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Good. Let's begin then. At what point did you sit down and say, no, I need to petition this particular highway? That's the Mau Wiboni Summit.
Thank you. Way back when Thika Nairobi Highway wanted to be constructed by the third president of this country, the late Moi Kibaki, he also had the same opinion of touring the Thika Nairobi Highway. We sat down, once the designs had been done, his office was good enough to call stakeholders. The stakeholders gave their views on why, the pro and cons of having the tolling on our roads. And this was the message by then, that the government, residents, citizens of this country, pays huge taxes in terms of road maintenance.
Yes.
By then, there was the EPRA, but it was not as structured as it is today. And we looked into the figures of what was being collected as taxes, vis-a-vis the cost of building, vis-a-vis the cost of maintaining, and it was amicably decided that there would be no tolls on any public road, because on one hand, the government is collecting taxes. Article 47 says that once the government collects taxes, then its work is to provide for services. So, in essence, we are only saying the government, Kaide, because you've collected taxes, why don't you put those taxes into use? There's no need of collecting taxes, levies from EPRA, and then the same monies, on the other hand, you go and collect tolls from the same motorist. Elijah, if you need to put the figures down, EPRA collects about 6 billion every month from the several levies. For every 1 liter of fuel, EPRA collects shillings, 93 shillings from the cost of either selling the petrol and the diesel. So what is this that is collected by EPRA? We have the fuel levies, the road levies, the tourism levies. The computation of the 93 shillings for every 1 liter is stipulated by EPRA. So EPRA have been mandated to collect levies from the motorist. Every single morning, when you turn your key, when you turn the car key on and consume a liter, if it's petrol right now is going at 186, if it's diesel is about 178. From the 178, 93 shillings goes directly into the kitty of maintaining the roads, building the roads, and anything that pertains to the road management.
Yes.
So there is already monies that is collected every single day, And these figures are not accurate because, again, these are the systems that will not do disclosures on the monies that they've received from different sources. So we're only taking that arbitrary figure that is posted by EPRA. Now, if you correct taxes, if you correct fuel levies from use of petrol and diesel, where are you taking that money? Because that money literally is for developing, maintaining, supervising administrative cost of our roads. So in essence, even before the government, even before the budget allocates monies to the State Department of Roads, there's already own resource revenue from EPRA. So that is where the discussion is. On one hand, you have levies collected from EPRA. Then you also have the budget allocated from the consolidated fund. So in essence, you have two kitties that have been put to you.
Yes.
Why do you need to go to an extra burden of tolling the same Kenyans? That was one issue. The other one was during the public participation. This is the discussion now that the Kenyans had what we've just discussed with you, that yes, you have correct money from EPRA, you correct money from kitties, from the budget. Why do you need to toll these roads? Then the state officer said, they are not tolling these roads. Why? No roads have been tolled in Kenya.
That's it.
The only road that have been tolled in Kenya is one, the Nairobi Express. No other road in Kenya have been tolled. Go to all the way from Nairobi, the A4, the A104, the A104. Nairobi to Mombasa, that have not been tolled. Nairobi Thika Highway, going now all the way to Keno Nyeri, have not been tolled. Look into any other. The Gong Road have not been told.
Yes.
The Wayakwe have not been told. So they said they are not going to toll any other public road. Why? Because these roads have been built using public money. And if you're using public taxes, then there's no need of tolling because we already have the kitties that I've told you. So they said there's no tolling. Then come to the signing of the document. Then we realized this is the cross on the tolling. And in essence, you had told us you're not going to toll. So why say you are not going to toll? And then when you ink the agreement, then you say this is the tolling. We try to fast track that discussion. It falls into deaf ears. So where do you go? The only place that you can go is now the judicial system. Can you define for us now this discussion? Because this discussion had taken a different dimension. Now, what we have today is something else. So that is among us the reasons why we are the court today, so that, all this now can be brought on board.
That's it.
Yes.
So let Kenyans get you clear this morning,
Yes.
is that, Joyce, you're not against the construction of the Mau Summit Road. You're not against that. What you're against is the tolling.
Yes.
All right, let's also be clear. Are you confirming that indeed, if we go back to the public participation notes that were done before Kenyans indeed said we need that road constructed, there was no indication whatsoever in any notes that came from the ground that there was going to be tolling?
Touring, 100%. The public discussion, the public participation exercise was conducted by the French contractors because this road initially had been consigned to somebody else at a cost of 160 billion. That was the French government, a French contractor.
That's it.
And during the several public participation exercises that were conducted all over, between Rironi, Maimahio, Naivasha, that is why we have one stretch, between Rironi, Kimende, Naivasha, Nakuru, Mau Summit, there was no anywhere that we discussed that the roads need to be tolled. Joyce and the other two petitioners, including the Motorist Association of Kenya,
that's it.
We have not said no to the drawing of any other road in Kenya. We've seen the perennial traffic jams that are being experienced. But again, even on this one, Siba, the Rironi, Kimede, Mau Summit Road do not have traffic jams. What we have are stage-managed traffic jams.
That's it.
When an accident happens at, say, Kijabe area, because that is another place that motorists will sleep for about like 3 or 4 days there, then TSA personnel and the traffic will not rush to the scene to clear the scene of the accident. Because how many hours, how many days do you need to clear a scene of accident? Say maximum you can take is an hour. So the pileup between to Nakuru and from Nakuru within an hour can be managed. But we have seen persons during the festive periods around the same area, between Kemede area, Kijabe area, up to Kenogi area. That is why we have crazy traffic. But it is only that the officers from the NTSA will not rush to the scene to clear either the causes of the traffic snarl-ups. An accident has happened. Those roads are very, very narrow. So accessing that area becomes a nightmare. But if we have good and efficient methods of clearing the traffic messes that we have, then it becomes easy. Elijah, these roads are not traffic, they do not have heavy traffic. The road that has heavy traffic is the road that is the expressway because it has persons moving, going to the airport. But Rironi, Kimede, Rironi, Kimede, Naivasha, Nakuru Highway.
Yes.
The only place that we have then, again, heavy traffic is only when you approach Nakuru through the Nakuru roundabout, because again, there are no traffic lights. The traffic officers that have been put there to manage the traffic for the roads, for the vehicles entering Nakuru and the vehicles leaving Nakuru. That is the only place we have crazy traffic.
That's it.
But any other section, even now, as we talk, if you drive towards Rironi, Kimede, Naivasha, Nakuru, the road is free. So we cannot economically quantify a contract of 200 billion for that road to be idle. Look at even Nairobi Mombasa Road. Where do we have the traffic? It's only near the towns, near the satellite towns that are adjacent to the roads. That is only when we have huge traffic. But any other time, these roads are free. So economically, even this road, it is not economically viable to say that you are going to pump in 200 billion. Only to go and massage some egos of some persons. These roads are not busy.
That's it.
If we look into even the issues of the dewering, the section of the road that needs dewering is between Kwabera Road all the way to, before you reach section 58. Because immediately after section 58, we have the Duo Road. Stretching all the way up to Gata. Then from Gata towards some section of the road, it is not Duo. You go towards Joro, there's a huge, beautiful interchange that we have there.
Yes.
If you go towards the Mausamet exit, we have a huge, beautiful interchange that is there. So, to the designers of this road, did you want to bring down the duos that are already there, or did you want to improve, or did you want to abandon them? This was not captured in the designing of that road. The designing of that road is Duo, Rironi to Mau Summit. So, and there's already existing duo roads. So what will you do to it? Why not say that you do the bit that is have not been duoed? This is the Rironi to Nakuru.
Yes.
From Gata towards Mau Summit. Duo and improve. At least now Kenyans can discuss. But when you say grossly that we are going to duo Rironi to Mau Summit, this road, some of this road have been duoed. Are you going to duplicate? When you are doing the cost of that road, what factors did you put into the already duoed roads? That is where we have now the petition, so that we can now explain, they can explain. Do you need to manage that cost? So in essence, Kenyans will be saving because all this now, the already duoed will not be reduoed again, Elijah. It will not be, say, improving, providing for, say, drainage.
That's it.
So the cost literally will go down. So in essence, the Motorist Association of Kenya, which advocates for the rights of the motorists, is not against the dueling. It is against the touring.
That's it.
Yes.
So in this petition, for any other person who's listening to you this morning,
yes.
I mean, you raise a couple of issues. What are you really seeking in this petition? Because as we stand right now, the couple of pictures, I don't know, Director, we can show those pictures as we keep on with this conversation, because immediately after the president left, ideally that construction continued. We can't verify the images that we're getting from the ground,
yes.
But from the ground you can see, once the president left, I mean, the infrastructure for beginning the construction of that road has already gone on the ground,
yes.
and that construction is going to keep on going. I mean, from the pictures that we're seeing from the ground this morning, that in the event then that construction goes on, what we know as Kenyans is that what the president told us, the 8 shillings per kilometer, once this construction goes on, that's exactly what we're going to get once they're done with the dueling of the Mau Summit Rironi Road. So your petition, what is it seeking? Number one, is it seeking to stop that construction? Because as it stands, it looks as if that construction has already started.
People may decide to interpret the law as they deem fit. The orders that were given were quite clear. Let all the stakeholders come on Friday so that we can discuss about the contentious issues. The contentious issues is not dueling. What is in contention is, one, the costing. From the brief document that was availed, it is about 8 shillings per kilometer. For who? Is it for a motor rider? Is it for a private user? Is it for a commercial user? So what is 8 shillings per kilometer? It was not explained. If we buy the issue of 8 shillings per kilometer, and the road is dual and tolled,
yes,
these people can even decide to increase the fees and say that 8 shillings per kilometer was the minimum figure for a motor rider.
Yes.
We needed to be quite clear. If it is the commercial user that is using that road, the wear and tear against the usage of that road for a commercial user, for a 10-ton lorry, for a 13-ton lorry, for a 20-ton lorry, is very, very heavy vis-a-vis for a single user of a motorcycle who's driving towards Nairobi to Nakuru. Because a motorcycle rider is also entitled to use that road. So in essence, we need to know the composition of these 8 shillings per kilometer and the classification of the users of that road. Like I've said before, we are not against the dualling. We are only against the tolling. And even if they decide to go ahead and dual, it is within the scope of the dualling. But when it comes to the tolling, that is where we have an issue. So the orders have been come on board so that we can discuss about the construction, because it is a huge tender document.
That's it.
It will need to be extracted, the bit that goes to the construction of the dualling and the bit that goes to the tolling.
That's it.
So we are praying for the bit that goes towards the tolling to be expelled, and not the one that deals with the dualling. That is where we are.
Pretty much.
Yes.
All right, let's look at what the government, supporters in this, the guys who are fighting you. I was looking at the analysis online, and they were saying, the president has said, and he keeps on saying that, and we're going to keep on playing more clips from him, because he's also been speaking about that as well. He's saying that this government, as it were, it is stressed of resources to fully conduct public projects by itself. That's what they're saying. And they're saying that if you want to construct these roads and also use them without tolling Kenyans, it means that we have to look at what the fuel levy, that's the road maintenance levy, is coming from what Kenyans are paying out of the taxes in this country. They're saying, well, that's where we can use it for. And so the president said this. If you go back to 2024-2025 financial year, you're going to find that KRA collected approximately 119.7 billion shillings from the road maintenance levy, all right, against the estimated cost of this project, which is 170 billion to 200 billion shillings. Well, they come out, Joyce, and they say, it's not visible, therefore, for you to say, this amount of money that we have from KRA, this 117 billion probably, in a financial year like 2024-2025, it's not enough for you to say it's going to be used, number one, for the construction and for the maintenance of this road, because they're saying there's a budget for the entire country. Do they make sense? No wonder they're saying it's got to be a public-private partnership. We bring in private investors, they construct this road for us, and then after that, Kenyans pay to use it.
Thank you. To take you back to the figures that are given by KRA, that's 119 billion.
That's it.
EPRA collects 6 billion, because that is only from one source, KRA.
That's it.
It's not EPRA. EPRA collects 6 billion. So we can say that at the end of the day, from only 2 sources only, we are collecting about 1.1, 2, and 6. That we are collecting about 8 billion. The government goes ahead and borrows in the year 2 trillion to finance. The government has borrowed 2 trillion. Nairobi, Rironi Mau Summit needs only 170. EPRA collects 6 billion per month. In the year that is 72.
Yes.
In the year that is 72. Bring in the figures from KRA. So we are even more than 70% of the funding of Rironi Mausamit Road. That aside, if you correct if you borrow 2 trillion through the internal borrowing or the external borrowing, what is the cost of doing this road? Say it's going to take about 500 billion. So in essence, what you've already borrowed from external, internal and externally,
yes,
you can do the roads.
Mm-hmm.
So this issue of saying, this issue of a sweeping statement saying that we do not have funds, it is grossly exaggerated because we already have audited accounts that says that state bodies that have been mandated to correct are correcting.
That's it.
So in essence, if we are borrowing 2 trillion in the year, we need, say, Nairobi, Rironi Mausamet need 175 billion. Don't you think you have the money to correct? To construct? If EPRA is correcting 6 billion in the month, 72 billion in the year, don't you think you have part payment even to do other roads? So in essence, it is the commitment. It is the commitment that is tracking. It is not the sources of funds. The president brought in an issue of the infrastructure board.
Yes.
And everybody is happy about the infrastructure board. Initially, some time back, one of the corporates floated a recruitment for share exposure. This is Safaricom, and it was oversubscribed. Why? You give Kenyans why you need to sell these shares. You give an head-to-head discussion of how and how you're going to generate and use this money through the infrastructure boards. Even the discussion today we have on the infrastructure board is not clear. So even Kenyans do not know.
Yes.
We need to borrow. We need to set up infrastructure board to do what? Why don't we start that discussion up from there? The infrastructure boards. We need to borrow this money to do this. When we say the private the PPP,
yes. I want you to hold your thought right there, Joyce.
Yes,
because
yes.
You're attacking that point. I want you to get more time to attack it fully
yes.
once we come from this breather. Because as it stands, the petition, by the way, is even looking at the routes that you have been given for those who may not want to use that road. Because we do know you can't be forced to use it. But according to the petition, as they're saying, it looks as if they are forcing you to use it because the alternative routes they've given you aren't viable to some point. Once we come back, we answer why the petitioner thinks this PPP doesn't make sense, and also listen as to why the alternative routes you've been given also do not make sense, according to the petitioner. Once we come back right here on The Morning Drift, my name is Simba Elijah Charles here again.
Do you need a dose of hope? If so, you are in the right place. We think of ourselves around here as hope dealers, delivering truth, power, and inspiration to hearts and minds all over the world. If nothing else has worked for you, why not give the God thing a try? For it's in the presence of God that you'll find everything that you need. Amen.
Welcome back. We're still looking at the petition that is challenging, now wait for it, it's now clear, the tolling plans by the government on the Mau-Rironi Summit Road. Good. Now, the president is not also letting easy because it's as if he's got wind of the plans and on the ground of petitioners that are challenging his plans. Now, during that launch, this is exactly what the president continued to say about the plans that he has for the country and for the infrastructure plans for this country as well. Let's listen in, come back, and then keep on speaking to the petitioners who are saying no tolling at all. Let's listen in.
Don't sell to us ethnicity. Don't sell to us hate. Don't sell to us division. We want a united country. Tell us what your agenda is. Tell us your plan. Tell us your agenda. One term Kasongo must go is not a plan, is not an agenda. It is about a person. It is about hate. It is about the next election. We are discussing about the next generation. We are discussing about the people. You are discussing about leaders. We are discussing about the people. You are discussing about the next election. We are discussing about the next generation. There is a world of a difference between us and you. It is as different and as clear as day is from night. Nyinyi mnanielewa bwana? Sasa nishawaambia hawa jamaa, wakiendelea na hii, tutawazamisha asubuhi na mapema. Hao watu watatembea wakitembea. Kiambu hoye! Kiambu hoye! Na mimi nataka niwashukuru wa Kenya. Nataka niwashukuru wa Kenya wote. Wapigaji kura wa kutoka kule Mbere. Wapigaji kura wa kutoka Kasipul. Wapigaji kura kutoka Unguja. Wapigaji kura wa kutoka Baringo. Wale wapigaji kura wa Banisa. Wale wapigaji kura wa kule Malava. Mimi nawaambia asante sana. Mimi nasema ongera. Mumetuhakikishia ya kwamba hamutaki ukabila. Wakenya wametuambia hawana biashara na ukabila. Hawana biashara na chuki. Hawana biashara na migawanyiko. We want a united nation. A nation that stands together and focuses on the good and the prosperity of every citizen without the limitations of where they come from, their religion or their ethnicity. Tumekubaliana jameni?
Just directly to any other person, I mean the president was addressing any other person who's challenging his development plans for this country. He's saying you can challenge it, he's gone on with it, and he thinks that any other person who's speaking against his development agenda for this country, like you, the petitioners, you're just riding on politics and you should stop immediately. That was on the sidelines of the launch of that Mount Rironi Summit Road. I know we want to talk about the details of that petition as well.
Yes.
Do you agree with the president that whatever you're doing currently as it is politics of Ruto must stop, Kasongo must go according to him, and they do not make sense to Kenyans?
It is, I would say that the president is wrong, and any divergent issue that is brought on board, it is not anti the government that is on the day.
Yes.
It is all about consensus. This country belongs to all of us. And if I feel that the view that you hold does not conform with the Constitution, because it's objectively, it's all about the Constitution. The president must operate within the Constitution. The petitioners must discuss the issues within the Constitution. So all of us are within the Constitution. Let him prove that what we are discussing is not within the Constitution. The issue of fairness and equitability. Elijah, motorists, the persons who are using Rironi Mausamit Road, will be told, but the persons going to the mountain using Nairobi Thika, Keno, Maroa, Nyeri, are not being told. So is that politics or is that equitable distribution and fairness?
Yes.
The persons who are driving towards Nairobi, towards Mombasa, Mutitoadei, Voi, they are not being charged to use that road. But our brothers who are going to the Western Kenya are paying for that road. Is in essence, is it politics or fairness? We need to have a general toll agreement, toll policy, which says that, it is not selective. Don't use the same toll policy on people going towards Western Kenya. Those going to Mombasa are not using the toll policy. Those using Gong Road are not using the toll policy. Those using going to Nairobi, Nyeri, Isiolo, Marsabit. So in essence, we do not have fairness in terms of the policy. If the president needs to use this policy in place, let it be a toll discussion. At this toll discussion, you touch on now on all the roads, yes, the existing roads, that you're using this road. So it is not about politics. It's about service to Wajiko. In service to Wajiko, the person going towards the Western Kenya, Joyce traveling to Kinangop, I will be paying for the tolls. But Joyce going towards Thika, I will not be paying. So in essence, this is the same taxpayer that is being subjected to unfairness. So in essence, it's all about fairness. Everybody, we are paying our taxes. And we are paying our taxes diligently and happily. Since we are paying our taxes, let our roads be improved. Elijah, look at that section of the roads that goes from, that runs from Safaricom. Immediately after the expressway, Safaricom towards Mrorogo, that section of the road was abandoned, whereby it is touching on the general public. But the only road that is being developed and being taken care of and being improved is the Nairobi Express. So there's even selective usage of our taxpayers. Our motorists are being harassed. Go towards the outside of the Westlands town. That road is chaotic. But on top of that road, the road is beautiful. So it's all about fairness. It's all about the equal. If these are persons who are paying, when you go and fuel your vehicle, the same levies that are being charged to you for using the lower side of the road are the same charges that are being used to you. So in essence, when the president says it's politics, I think somebody advising him is advising him wrongly. I would want to look him into the face and tell him, President, listen to the motorists. They want to assist you to develop good roads, but listen to the concerns that is being raised by the motorists. They tell you, don't throw these roads. Let us even have a discussion, a better discussion on the levies. If you think the levies that is being corrected by EPRA is not enough, bring that discussion on board. Tell motorists that I'm collecting 6 billion from EPRA. I need to manage this road at the cost of at 1 trillion or even 500 million. How do we bridge the gap? The other issue that I want to bring in 4As, yes, the usage of the foreigners. We have very able local contractors that can manage our good roads. If you're going to collect monies from NSSF, our contribution, our own contribution, you and me, the contribution that we give to NSSF, why are you giving to the CLBC? Why not give that money to the local contractors to build our roads? We have, like we've said, this basket of the road building and development can collect monies from private entities, public entities, levies collected from EPRA and other sources, pull them and give to our local contractors. So even you, the president, everything that you take and go and give the foreigners, the local contractors, you're not taking care of our local contractors. So even when you say it is politics, President, you are the one who is exercising now the politics of the highest order. Come back to the local contractors, who are your voters, and engage the local contractors. The monies, stagger the payments, stagger the construction of these roads. This year do 10 kilometers, next month do 10 kilometers, next month do 10 kilometers, and in essence, our country will be developed. But do not grossly take one kitty, go and ram to one section of the road and say it is a milestone. It is not milestone. Yes. It is discriminative.
Pretty much. I want to look at the other sections that your petition is also looking at this morning, which is the alternative routes that have been given to Kenyans along that route who may not want to use that road that is getting dualed and then later tolled. But then you challenge the routes that have been given. Why?
One on the left side of the road, the designers of that road gave Gong Suswa.
Yes.
Look at the difference in terms of the distance between Rironi and Gong. You know, we are trying now to figure out that I do not want to use going to Kisumu, I want to use Gong Suswa, Narok, Kericho, go to Kisumu.
And then go to Kisumu.
Gong Suswa, how viable is it? Where is that Gong Suswa road? Away from the Rironi Mau Summit Road. Are they parallel? No. How many kilometers away? Don't you think you are inconveniencing the motorist, telling them now stop from going to Rironi? When you are within the CBD, now use the Gong Road, take Gong, go use Suswa, then go to Narok, drive towards Kisumu. Is that road that is even the deemed alternative? Can it manage the kind of traffic now that will be used? that road is not equally improved.
Yes.
So in essence, will be once within the 2 or 3 months that road have been used, then it will go to a bad state of that road. That is on the left side of that road. On the right side of Rironi Mau Summit, the one that have been provided by the designers of that road is Nairobi Thika, Magumu, Jabini route.
Yes.
Look at the difference again from Rironi, from Rimuru towards Thika. And you are being told once you are within Rimuru, you go all the way to Thika, how many kilometers? Then you take the Thika route, go towards Magumu area, through Kanyoni area, arrive at Sokomjiga, then use Jabini route. It is quite expensive.
That's it.
You are making even the persons that want to use that road, you are punishing them. A trip that you should have taken 3 hours is now going to take a whole day. As take other factors that the roads are poor, the traffic, those are rural roads, bumps. You know, you're inconveniencing other Kenyans. So even the routes, the alternatives that have been given, they're in poor state of the road. And you're telling Kenyans that will go and use those roads. They are away, kilometers away from Rironi Mau Summit road. Socially, let us even go to the social impact. We have between, if you go towards Rironi, Rimuru, where a place we call Bibirioni, we have the primary schools that have been taken to the right side of the road. So for me to access the left side of the road, I have to touch on Rironi Mau Summit road, go to the left side of the road. For me to access schools. So you are charging them to cross over less than only 200 meters away. So even socially, you are touching on the lives of the users of those roads. Yes. Immediately when the president left, when he was at Rironi, he asked them, do you want me to do this road? And they said no. Why? There was that bit of Kiabu-Duberi road. And then Kenyans realized, wait a minute, Kiabu-Duberi road, you are now coming to touch into our personal lives. That my farm is across the road. You are going to do, then how do I access my farm? Look at what happened at Nairobi Thika road. A lot of lives were disrupted. Why? Because our lives spelled between the 2 sides of the road. Now what we have today is quite different. Yes. The same scenario will be repeated when you do Kiabu-Duberi road. You need now to redesign it so that socially you do not impact the lives of the usage. This is the same thing. When you go to the alternative roads that have been provided by the designers of this road, the Gong-Suswa road, it is way off from Rironi. You'll be going another 50 kilometers to go and get an alternative. Is this the objective of the designers of this road? Then the designers of this road do not have the Kenyans at heart.
That's it.
So in essence, for the alternatives that have been given, they are poor in road. When you go to Naivasha, we have the Moredat road that goes all the way to Ranet. Have you seen that road?
Yes.
It is in dire need, full of potholes. The road is used by the wild animals because there's a lot of wild animals. So you are telling Kenyans, stop using the Rironi, Naivasha, Mau Summit road. Go use the Moredat, Ranet road. That is poor, has huge potholes, that is badly used. So in essence, the designers of this road want to punish Kenyans. And that is why we are telling the court, kindly give a direction into this matter so that, you know, people need to be fairly represented. And if the designers do not want to listen, let them be brought here so that, you know, they can explain. Why are you taking us to the Moredat Ranet road, which is bad? And by then, we'll even have pictures of the roads that are there. These dynamics will clearly be spelled out so that we want the court to address this matter and tell the designers of this road, kindly do not toll this road. Do any other damage control, do any other target correction so that you can meet the directions of what you need.
Yes.
But don't touch on the toll. Last rate, Raja. On event that the designers of this road succeeds in touring this road, Kenyans will have their own way of not using the tolled road. The CLBC and the NSSF, because you do that road at about a cost of 200 billion, where will you collect your monies from? If the locals decide not to use that road and use any other road use any other road to access their destination, where will you collect your money? Sri Lanka, the same CLBC did some roads in Sri Lanka. They were unable to meet their targets. What happened? They went to court, sought lien, and today they are holding the Sri Lanka government. Until the debt is finally recovered. We do not want to have that situation at hand. Why don't we have that discussion again, so that we know we can manage that discussion, so that we can even look into the future. The marks that will be corrected and arrive at a consensus. That is what we have on this petition.
That's it.
Yes.
So this is what your critics are also, and I'm going to keep on reading it. Because it's a good thing that the Kenyans are exposed to this petition, because the biggest infrastructural project that President William Ruto wants to do is that Mau Rironi Summit Road. People look at it as a legacy project for him. Look here. So I've got Kevin saying, I mean, why are they challenging the tolling when we've seen it work in this country? And this is what they're saying. So we went back and looked at how the expressway is working. And currently as it is, there are estimates that say that they could be making 30 million shillings per day based on the average toll of 300 and over 100,000 vehicles that might use that route daily, all right? And they said this would equate to approximately 900 million per month and 10.8 billion per year, all right? And so if you look at this breakdown that your critics are giving, they're saying it's 30 million daily, monthly could be around 900 million, yearly could be around 10.8 billion, traffic volume of over 100,000 vehicles. And they're saying even if you halved these numbers on the Mau Rironi and say 50,000, then they're saying you could be around 5-point-something billion a year and over 15 million shillings daily. They're saying tolling in this country has worked, and it's proven that citizens in this country would go for what works for them. So they're saying your petition might not hold water because we've seen it work, Joyce.
There's no toll policy. There's no toll policy in this country. At this discussion now want to engage on having a toll policy. Why was it effected on Nairobi Express? Because it was a private arrangement. The persons who were behind it fast-tracked it so that initially it was never about tolls. It was using alternative towards westwards towards airport. Later, it moved to, it upgraded to the tolling. So there's no tolling policy. We need to have a toll policy. And the toll policy will have the issue now of the costings, what you are saying, the 8 shillings per kilometer.
Yes.
So if we have a toll policy, and then we realize that we are meeting our thresholds or we are not meeting our thresholds, then you go back to the Kenyans and tell them, yes, we have a toll policy. And those toll policy stipulates the following. Now, in the absence of toll policy, these tolls can be abused. So we want to have an uniform discussion. When the commentators, I mean the commenter of the same said that it is working in this country, it is not working in this country. Because that was only on a portion of, a section of the road. Without a toll policy, we cannot say it is working. It is only working at between James Geshoro Road and up to the airport. It will not work in other sections. Dogokudu Road, that is another busy section of the road.
Yes.
Where is the tolls? It is not there.
Yes.
Because there is no toll policy. So to Kevin, we want to have a toll policy in place. Once this toll policy is in place, the tolling now becomes effective. How are you going to put tolls on the already existing roads? These are already existing roads built using public roads. How are you going to put tolls on already existing public roads? How?
Yes.
You cannot do it. You can only do it through a toll policy. So in the absence of toll policy, it is not workable.
Pretty much.
Yes.
I will continue
Yes.
with what your critics are also saying in this petition. So this is what the other question is for you this morning. That the government, in fact, is not the very first time that they are trying to introduce tolls in Kenyan roads. In fact, as we speak right now, there are already proposals that want to introduce tolls in major highways in the country. One, there have been proposals for the bypasses in the country. There have been proposals for Thika Road as well. There have been proposals for Mombasa Road as well. So this is actually James, who's saying this, that there's already a plan, Simba, to introduce tolls in this country, that the defense for the government will be as easy as saying the only thing we are doing is fast-tracking the policy for introducing tolls in the country, and that one will be quite as easy as a walk in the park.
I think James and me, we have agreed that we need a toll policy, which is not in place. So once we have the toll policy, it will be subject to public participation. Let us look into the content of the toll policy. Once the toll policy is put in place, Kenyans are good in reading. We read and dissect the issues that are being raised, and Siba, let me tell you, if it makes our road coverage to improve, to be better, to improve, to expand from the existing systems, we are for it. But let there be that public participation, let there be the toll policy in place. In the absence of a toll policy, it will flop, because which section of the road will be empowering you to effect the tolls? Which section of the road? In the absence of those sections of the road, it is another mirage. So let us work let us confine ourselves to the discussions within what is provided in road. If the road does not provide for tolls, bring that discussion. Let it be subject to public discussion. We'll do it. We'll do it.
That's it.
So I concur with James. Once we have the toll policy in place, that discussion is as good to go.
That's it.
Yes.
I know we have 2 minutes left for this discussion, and I gotta put this question to you as well. If you look at the reaction that your petition has received, especially from government supporters like the Robert Alai, who jumped immediately and said that you guys are the guys who are killing development in this country, does it make you second guess your petition today and say, maybe it's time to drop it?
Not really, Edward. Once you have your facts right, it is not what the naysayers, the opinion shapers, the bloggers will say.
Yes.
Stick to your facts. The facts are that, one, it is double taxation. You cannot correct levies. You cannot correct levies, and on the other hand, you charge tolls. The tolling is not a policy in these countries. You need to have a toll policy so that you can effect the tolls.
That's it.
You cannot use funds from NSSF. NSSF in the past have used its monies corrected from public contributors, and the monies have gotten lost. This is in the report from the Auditor General. So the Auditor General flags projects that monies have been used from NSSF. So are we on the same opinion that we want to go and correct monies again, which the Auditor General has said, don't use monies from the NSSF and go and invest on private investment? When the blogger said that we are harassing the government, the users of Nairobi, Thika, Nyeri, Isiolo, Madeira, Marsabit are not being told. The users of this way going to Kagudo, users of Mombasa Road, users of Gong Road have not been told. We're only discussing one section of the road. Why don't we have that uniform discussion? Let us toll all our roads in this country so that we have uniformity in terms of, for every kilometer, I'm going to use like 10 shillings. And Kenyans are patriotic, Elijah. If you give them any objective, they will assist you to do it, but don't force it towards them. So even to the persons who are saying that we are against the government, no. We pay our taxes shows that literally we are pro-government.
Yes.
And once we have that toll policy in place, the motorists who are the contributors of this, the economy is made up, is the huge part of the taxes paid to this country comes from the pockets of the motorists. So the contributors of the taxes are willing even to assist the government to go to an extra mile. But bring every discussion on the table. Let us discuss. And even where you feel that the targets, what you set aside is not ready, talk to the Kenyans. They will assist you to achieve it. But don't force it through the throat of these Kenyans. Yes.
Guess what? We know you've served the petition. It's already seated in court. And I know it's going to keep on advancing. Guess what? I'll keep on keeping a tabs on this particular story. I'll call you back again because I know it was served on a matter of urgency. So there's something again that has to go quite fast. Because as we stand here today, we do have reports that indeed the construction of that Rironi Summit Road has already begun, and the president has already washed his hands on it and is moving as the days goes by. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, Joy.
Thank you. Thank
all
you.
All right. You can follow that petition, by the way. And we shall be reporting on it as we go by right here at Look Up TV. You want to be a part of it, you can ask those questions, and I know I'll be forwarding those questions to Joyce as well, because this is a very touchy issue, as it were, because even the president is so bitter about it this morning. He doesn't understand why petitioners would rush to court and challenge a development agenda in this country. But from what we hear, the petitioners are there to, they've said they are there to stay until the courts make a ruling on this particular. All eyes on that Nakuru court, isn't it? All right. I'll see you tomorrow for another conversation. Good morning and goodbye.
We value your feedback and welcome your complaints about our programming and operations. Feel free to get in touch with us through 0700 893 542 or send us an email to info@lookuptv.co.ke.